Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Sorry, I got off to a little froggy start this morning. This is your 10-minute morning send off designed to support you in starting off your day, ready to receive your fulfillment and what you most want by unlearning struggle. So today, we're going to talk about space for you. And if you struggle with wanting space for you, not knowing how to create space for you, feeling like there is no space for you, then I think you're going to find today's Rise and Receive really helpful. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I am passionate about teaching people how to receive, because receiving is its own skill set and it's the most natural thing in the world. And yet, in all of my experience as a life coach and a human being on this planet thus far, I have come to see and to recognize that while receiving is the most natural thing in the world, most of us don't know how to do it. Most of us have either forgotten or disconnected from it. We hear the word, it's a nice idea, but we really don't know what it means. And what we know really well instead is how to work hard, how to struggle, how to strive, how to figure things out, how to pursue, how to hunt. So when I teach about receiving, I like to illuminate the difference between what I call a masculine model of power, which is symbolically represented by the hunter, who looks for a target on the horizon and uses his mind and his body and his action and his strategy to go out and get it. And that's one way of pursuing the things that you most want in life. And it works really well and it's really fun and it's really satisfying. But if you are struggling, it's probably because you don't need to do more of that. Because if that would have worked, you would have gotten the thing by now. It usually means that you are absent or malnourished in tapping into what I call the feminine model of power. And that's really this whole other aspect of yourself that is so amazingly powerful, but most of us are disconnected from it. And so when I talk about accessing the feminine model of power, I am not talking about throwing out the baby with the bathwater. The masculine model of power is awesome and necessary and fun. But if you're struggling, then you have an opportunity to, rooted in the masculine, expand and learn about the feminine model of power, which is about being rather than doing, and feeling and receiving and experiencing and surrendering. And this isn't just a lot of woo-woo. This actually produces concrete results. Just this morning when I checked in with my receive group, I said, hey, what are you all receiving? And somebody said, hey, I just got this huge windfall, came through. It's going to help me with my business. I can take back my employees since COVID hit. So things happen all the time. As you unlearn struggle, receiving is just happens. And we receive on an inner world and we receive manifestations in the outer world. And lots of exciting things happen. Anyway, so here at Rise and Receive, I pull one card from my Receive card deck every morning. I will read to you what the card is about. It always illuminates a receiving principle. And then I'll unpack it a bit, and I'm going to send you off on your day with a willingness mantra, because these willingness mantras activate the power of invitation. And invitation is the feminine model of power. Intention is the masculine model of power. And just in case you don't know, when I talk about feminine and masculine, I'm not talking about gender. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about accessing different aspects of yourself that are within you. We all have them, all genders, but we tend to lean on and over rely on the masculine energies and qualities, which, that's why our fulfillment can elude us. But once we open up to the feminine, all of a sudden things start coming in. So today's card is receive space for you. Receive space for you. So I invite you to sit back, let these words wash over you. Take a deep breath. That puts you into receiving mode, and you can always come back and re-listen if you need to. Okay, here we go. Receive space for you. Space is one of those words that we hear a lot, yet often with little understanding of the many ways it matters to your sense of self, to your well-being, and to your capacity to receive our fulfillment with ease. When there is space for you, whether in your daily schedule, in your relationships, in your job, or in your physical environment, in the depths of your being, you know you matter. You can recognize a lack of space for you in numerous ways. For example, you feel like life is living you rather than you are living your life, ever busy, ever running. Or you're in a relationship where you settle for breadcrumbs while the other person's needs seem more important. Or in your job, your humanity is unacknowledged and you're expected to produce like a robot. Or you feel like you're drowning in duty and responsibility and everyone else's needs are more important than your own. It's easy to get lost in the needs and demands of the world. It's common to think that feeling stressed and drained is just the way life is. But this is untrue. Life always offers kindness, but it's up to you to make space to receive it. As long as you neglect this need for space, you will struggle. If this strikes a chord, pay attention. This is your soul telling you that you need space for you. Your opportunity to nurture the space, this sacred need, your opportunity to nurture the sacred need begins in your relationship with you. There are two challenges which are supreme opportunities that must be addressed first and foremost. Firstly, when you've become accustomed to having no space for you, the first step is to commit wholeheartedly to claim space in your physical world. Excuse me. If this is difficult, look at where it would be easiest to start. Do you have time in your car on your way to work, 15 minutes per day? Do you have time while you're laying in bed before you start your day? Do you have time in the bathroom where you can be undisturbed with the door closed? Could you get support from a family member to take care of the kids, pets, and parents for a segment of time? Whatever you need to do, identify that time and space. Claim it as sacred and do everything in your power to establish boundaries. Excuse me. No phones, no interruptions, no distractions. This is an intimate personal space for you. The rest of the world is not permitted. Secondly, dedicate the space exclusively for self-nourishment and self-discovery. This sacred space is for you to connect with yourself. Know yourself, discover yourself, explore what your needs are, feel and honor your feelings, learn to listen to your inner world, hear what your needs are, and nourish your heart and soul. As you make space for you and make your relationship with you an utmost priority, the physical world will rise up to meet you in expansive ways. Your consciousness creates your reality. When you embody the consciousness of, there is space for me, I matter, my feelings matter, I'm willing to have my needs met, I'm willing to have my wants heard, knowing myself is important, then the physical world will mirror these exact experiences as manifestations where you matter. Your feelings are important. Your needs are met. Your wants are heard, and knowing you matters. As you make space to receive yourself, you receive your fulfillment. So that is the Receive Space for You card. And here is your willingness mantra for the day. I encourage you to start noticing when you feel that feeling of no space, rush, 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 busy, busy, busy. I'm at the mercy of other people's needs, demands, wants, and schedules. Notice that. See if you can notice it instead of just getting sucked into it as if that's just the way life is. If you can notice if you can become aware, that is the doorway to a whole new possibility. And then when you notice, stop, take a breath, and say this mantra. Even if you don't stop and take a breath, just start saying this mantra. It works. It changes the way your awareness is directed and your consciousness creates your reality. So here goes. I am willing to joyfully receive space for me. I am willing to joyfully receive space for me. So one of the things that I love to talk about with my clients, here's what usually happens when somebody feels in alignment with me and wants to work with me. We have a couple conversations, and they get really excited as they start to hear about the possibilities. They've read testimonials, they've talked to their friends. They're like, yeah, I'm ready to unlearn struggle and receive my fulfillment. So we start, and then we have a coaching call. And then pretty shortly into the coaching process, and this is all of humanity, this is why I'm so passionate about unlearning struggle, either that inspiration or motivation will fizzle, or I'll simply be met with something like, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. And the funny thing is, the coaching that I do is not about doing. It's all awareness. It's training your awareness. So it doesn't even need time. Okay, but it needs space. And the first place that space can begin is in your awareness. Because your awareness, your consciousness, the sum total of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions is a space. In other words, you are actually not a person, you're a space in which you receive thoughts and awarenesses and experiences and feelings and sensations. Now, this space is what you receive life into, okay? But you can either receive unconsciously and just receive whatever comes, just like unconsciously, and just become what's in the space, or you can stand back and train your awareness to be intentional, okay, and to notice what's in the space. So when you notice, oh, I'm rushing. There's no space for me. I'm actually receiving everybody else and everything else. And your awareness catches that. And then you receive something new and you say, oh, well, I'm willing to receive joyful space for me. There, you've just made space for yourself in your awareness. Did it take any time? No, it doesn't take time. And so while this is incredibly simple, receiving is so simple. That's what I always say. When you unlearn struggle, receiving happens. And the kindness that's always been here just shows up, okay? But you must be willing to train your awareness. And that does take some practice, and it does take some support, because we will just default. Our minds will say it can't be this easy. That's what our minds did. We've learned to struggle, all right? So it's all about training your awareness. And when you notice the struggle, you can actually say, okay, I received the struggle. I'm aware of that. And now I'm willing to receive space for myself. As you practice this, whatever you give your attention to expands. Wherever the energy goes, wherever your attention goes, the energy flows. So space starts to open up. It's really that simple. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about teaching physical space is that when your awareness isn't trained, it's easy to get lost in it. And so physical space is really important, especially as you begin, all right? Because now you can actually slow down enough to become aware. But once you get good at it, as you live your life, you are taking yourself fully embodied everywhere you go. Your awareness gets more and more established in you. And then you can be a fulfilled receiver because you are receiving intentionally rather than by default, all right? The other thing I really want to highlight is that in this day and age, when there is so much coming at us and it's so easy to be, reacting, or in times of COVID with quarantine, I've talked to a lot of people who now feel like they have no space because they, instead of being able to go off and, do their yoga, do their classes, go do their job, have a coffee break, they're home with family members, with kids, and now homeschooling. It can be very challenging. So now more than ever, claiming some physical space, asking for support around that, finding a way. There's nothing more important than your commitment to that. Because if you're not committed, really the problems and the reasons why it's not possible will win. But when you say there's nothing more important that I claim my space for myself, and understanding that in that all of the receiving, all of your power is available to you, it's just a ripple. It's very, very powerful. Okay, so it's kind of like being on a plane, that idea of you put on your oxygen mask first. If you claim space for yourself, then you become nourished and have that much more to give everyone that you care about and all of your life. You actually can bring yourself to your life rather than having your whole life fill you up and you get lost. So I hope this idea of receiving space for you is resonating. It's lighting up some light bulbs. I really hope it's inspiring you to, if you've never been committed to that, to explore it. And if you have been and lost it, to reignite that commitment, to claim space for you, to care for that space. It doesn't take a lot. A little bit every day starts to stabilize your awareness within your being. And then you become intentional in living your life and being a fulfilled receiver. All right, so here's the mantra one more time. I am willing to joyfully receive space for me. I hope you like this. If you did, if you find it useful, please like, please share, please subscribe if you're on YouTube. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you'd like to take some next steps and keep connecting with receiving, just check out the links that I include above and below. I have 2 recommendations. One is, if you like the Receive cards that I'm reading, go to receivecarddeck.com, put in your name and email, and I will let you know as soon as they're available for pre-order. They'll be available for the holidays, actually after the holidays, but you can pre-order for the holidays. And also save the date, October 7th and 14th. Next week, you'll be hearing how you can sign up for a vision workshop, which helps you tap into this infinite power within instead of reacting and spinning to the unpredictability of the world, and have a clear vision for your life moving forward for the rest of this year and into 2021. Okay, so stay tuned for more on that. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.